Hello everyone, it's XPGamesNL here, back with the very first FEBuilder tutorial in 2022. This tutorial stuff, it's getting kind of... not done one in a very long time. I've gotten a new recording software set up. A lot of stuff has happened since I last made one. A video about this. Anyway, today I'm doing a tutorial that I promised to do like 5 months ago. And I do not know if the person that requested this tutorial is still watching this or still active on the channel, but shoutouts to Dokuganryū Silvio. I hope I pronounced that right. It sounds kind of Japanese somewhat, so that's how I'm going to pronounce it anyway. Yeah, thanks to I'll just call him Silvio. Thanks to Silvio for requesting this topic. Today we're going to cover the route split. I'll show you a small clip of what we're going to end up with. So, you want to know how this works in the ROM, I wager. Let's boot it up. So, we're gonna go to chapter 1, escape, and I'm gonna cheat here by simply, saying, like, I don't care about this vanilla stuff. I'm just gonna say, clear and end the current chapter. I have added the necessary events, so what happens here is, we'll just get the normal chapter 1 ending, but with a twist. I press the enter... Let me do that again. That was not intended to happen. I think it's because something went wrong with Fade to Black and stuff. That's something that could have happened. We'll just press the B button instead. And here is the standard dialogue for the route split. Now, this should be text that you can actually... Let me fact check this before I start spouting nonsense. Let's see. I also recently... I never knew this, but there's a search function. Let's see. Roston. We could say Erica Roston, then it will look for... What was the exact line again? Go with. Okay. We'll type in go with. I really want to know... yeah, you can actually change this. You can change go with Erica to Roston. Will you go with Erica? You can select the yes option here. So, you can change this. For now, though, we'll go with Erica. If you go with Ephraim after Chapter 1, what happens is you will have Seth fighting against everyone in Fort... what was the name again? I forgot. It's not that important. We actually have Franz on our team. Franz is jacked. He's level 10? Whoa. But anyway, I installed a patch that skips us a couple of chapters ahead. So, now we're here in Sacred Stones. Cool, huh? Here's Binks. Binks is kind of scary. He's pretty strong. But yeah, that is what you can do with the route split. You could also go with Ephraim. But that is basically what we're trying to achieve in this tutorial. We're going to make sure that we can actually do a route split. Alright, so now that we know what's going to happen and what kind of route split we're going to make, and you have seen the result, let's dive deeper into the route split itself, shall we? So if you want to make a route split, it's kind of simple, because a standard strategy that you can use in when you make a ROM hack is just look at vanilla Fire Emblem, like vanilla Sacred Stones for an example, and take the information of vanilla Sacred Stones and apply it somewhere else. So in case of the vanilla Sacred Stones route split, it's actually tucked away in a very odd place. You might go and think like, where could the route split be hidden? You might be thinking this like, oh wait, after chapter 8, the chapter where you reunite with Ephraim, you'll have an ending event, and after that you'll get a lot of different events and the route split will follow. So you go like, wow, what if I just check the end event like this, and you're like, wait, there's no route split here. There's no other events here. Route split is impossible for this section. And what you will realize then is you'll go searching, but you've probably searched before if you weren't interested in route splits, or you might have just looked through the ROM, and you might have come across chapter 38, or chapter between two quotation marks, 38, that's Castle Frelia. Now, Castle Frelia is basically where a lot of stuff gets handled that has to do with the route split, but also Castle Frelia is where you get your supply. It's where Mulder and Vanessa's data is stored so that they join the party. What we're going to do is we're going to click on Start Event, and not on End Event, just on Start Event. So what we have here is two different conversations. Those are not really that important. This is just when Erica, after Chapter 1, she'll travel to Frelia, and there's two different conversations for King Hayden. Not important. We want to focus on... Or is it... No, we want to focus on this little bit right here. It's really easy to miss. If you haven't done a lot in FEBuilder, it's really easy to miss this particular call of events. What happens in the ROM is around Chapter 8, I do not know exactly when it happens, but in the game, flag number 88 will be set. And flag number 88 is the new departure flag. It will be set somewhere in the ROM. And after that happens, the new departure flag will be set. If you return to Castle Frelia and this flag is set, it will return this event, or it will run this event. Otherwise, it will run the other event. So if you were to somehow disable the flag, you could basically loop the game and play the first couple of chapters from Erica's route while having Ephraim, Ford, and Kyle in the party, for an example. That's a possibility that can happen. That's how you can break the ROM, but we're not going to take a look at that right now. I just want to emphasize that this is the event you're looking for if you want to take a look at the route split. So let's dive deeper into the route split, shall we? So what happens here is not really that important. It's a couple of stuff. We have Erica, Ephraim, Tana greets them back. Then we have Ines, who shows up for the first time in Vanilla Sacred Stones. Then we have Hayden, who talks a little bit about stuff. This little event, this is also an interesting event to take a look at. This is the event where Kalag and Selena, they go and completely destroy everyone in the Tower of Valny. That is what this little event is about. So, not really that important. If you wanted to edit that event, you also know where it is right now. But we were looking at the route split. And for the route split, you should take a look, and wherever you are in the ROM, look for this, in Vanilla Sacred Stones, look for this text right here. This is, "Farewell, brother, I will return." From this point onward, the route split will start. So here we have a standard conversation that sort of Erica and Ephraim say farewell. Fade in screen from black. This little command stops the player from skipping over the events because the route split is a necessary choice. It has to be made in order to progress in the story. So that is why this thing is here. Next, you're going to notice that there's another little text thing right here. And then the actual route split happens. What you want to do is if you want to make a route split yourselves, you should copy everything from this point onward, really. Like, this is okay. You can skip this. This is a regular conversation. This is a fade-in. This is a disallow skipping, which is this is an event you kind of have to make, really. So yeah, I will copy this, put it in an empty event, and we'll basically, from there, we'll see how it goes. I'll show the event, I'll test it a bit off screen, and see if I need to make any adjustments to my explanation. Alrighty then. So what I've done is if I open the end event of chapter 1, what we can see is that I've actually made a little thing here called the call event, which we've seen before. This time around, it's again the route split, but this is not the route split of that happens at the end of Castle Frelia, just because I wanted to show you that you can easily copy the setup of the route split. So I found out, partially because of doing this research, but I mostly found out that this, the assembler function plus the copy, the display text box, and the little choice here, as well as the label condition, that is the entirety of the route split. So from label condition up until the choice, that is what you need to copy every single time. Because this label condition right here is for if you've made a choice. If you've made a choice, then the event will go onward. But if you decide to press the B button after you've said, like, I want to choose Ephraim, but you make up your mind, you press B, it brings you back to this label condition. Otherwise, you cannot go back. Once you've made the choice, you have to. That's basically what that means. So that is actually everything you kind of need to sort of copy. This one is for just for the sake of if you have done this, then do this, because after you've made your choice, you can skip the rest. The ROM will handle everything else. So that is what that is about. But a couple of things before we move on and we actually finish the tutorial. There's a couple of things I kind of wanted to mention that will be needed, or that I will would like to talk about real quick. So this is very standard. It just does the music. What it does here is it checks the current game mode. What this does, at least I think, is this thing right here. This checks current game mode. What it does is it changes the game mode. Let me see if I'm correct about this. This is the Ephraim part. I think it's handled in the call route split menu, because what I think happens is here it can do one of two things. It either checks the game mode to do something with the level adjustment we'll get to in a bit. Otherwise, it does something to change the game mode to either Ephraim or Erica mode. And it does that here, so I would copy that. And also this, so everything up until the B and E. This, however, this little stuff from checks alive forward, this is all replaceable. You can all remove this. You can, let's say, you wanted to have a castle explode after you chose Route A, then you can remove all of this conversation stuff. This is just a game doing some more dialogue. You can remove all of that, and you can add in like a castle exploding. Be sure not to remove this, or like not the fade to black is something that has to stay, because after the fade to black, the ROM will like handle a couple of things off screen. For one, it will decide which chapter you will go to. Now, in my case, since I was not at the Erica or Ephraim mode yet, because there had not been stuff done in the ROM yet, I installed a patch that allows me to go to another map without going to the world map. Otherwise, the ROM would basically freeze. You would soft lock. So that is why you will not go to the next chapter without the world map. We have an assembler function here that adjusts the level for units that leave the party. Just basically does what it says right here. The unit below will then actually get their levels adjusted. And this little check current game mode, I do not know if that is what, or if this little check game mode has influence on the amount of levels that the character will gain. I do not have any idea what happens. I do not even know the normal amount, the standard amount of levels a character will gain from leaving the party. I do think Ephraim will get a lot of extra levels in comparison to Erica, because you had Ephraim for like 2 chapters, and Erica has been there for around, precisely 9 actually. Not precisely 8. She's been around for 9 chapters in total, which is a big difference in experience. So yeah, that is basically what happens at the end here. So all of this, where they check on forward, so from this little check right here up until the conversation end, you can replace that with whatever you want. If you say, well, the characters that leave the party, I would like to have their level adjusted, then you leave this little part in. You could even put a character, an extra character down here. You could do that. Another thing that you could do is just change the chapters up. As long as you sort of copy this big route split thing, it's really nice that it's stored in a separate event in Castle Frelia, which is... that's this one. If you copy the entirety of this event, you basically have the route split and you can call it anywhere. The reason I separated the route split event and made it different, or like made my own version of it, is simply because I do not want all of this extra dialogue. Like this is the one with Tana and Erica talking about Myrrh and stuff. I did not want to have all of that in my route split, but you can easily copy the route split right here. It's not really that difficult. Now, before we finish, I wanted to check something real quick, because while we're at the topic here, I kind of want to see if we do have a patch for the route split. If we do have like something to adjust levels or something for the round split. There is an add event auto level unit. There is a patch right here, which is basically this. I do not know exactly what it does, because I've never used it. This allows you to level up units that have left the party when they rejoin the party. So this is basically just what happens to Ephraim. So what this does is just basically give you levels. It will give a character levels. I will use this in my own ROM hack too, I think. But this is an extra event that basically does the same thing as... let me quickly take a look. That probably does the same thing as not this one. This little assembler function here. It's just not an assembler function anymore. Now it's just an event. Personally, because I do not work with build files or you know, the assembler, and anyway, I prefer to have things as events. But that is just personal preference. If you are what they call a wizard, and I fully agree with that title, because people that do stuff with like extra, they make own code and add it to the ROM, use build files and stuff, never looked into it, seems like a wizard's job. They seem like wise wizards. I just do my stuff with FEBUilder. If there's something I need, I do not desperately need extra functionality or something. Wanted to keep my ROM quite vanilla, So yeah, good to know that there's also like an alternative to this. If it somehow doesn't work for you this way, then be sure to take a look at that patch I just showed on screen. But yeah, that is basically it. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks again to Silvio. I'm not going to read the name out loud again, because I'm afraid I'm gonna butcher it. Um, Big shout out to him. Thanks for requesting this tutorial. I know I'm really, really late with this. I'm sorry, but better late than never is something I like to say sometimes. It sounds like an excuse, and it kind of is an excuse. But yeah, that is that. I hope you enjoyed and found this helpful. If you did, be sure to smash the thumbs up button. If you want more of this content, there is a playlist of tutorials. I hope it pops up on screen, where you will be able to check out the other tutorial videos I've done. And yeah, that is really it. So consider subscribing and liking the video. And I will see you guys all next time. Goodbye.